Hello students, good morning. Hope you all are doing good. Welcome to the program NEET Foundation, and today in this video we are going to discuss about a main concept, nervous coordination, and within that the sub concept we are going to discuss is the cranial nerves. Okay, so before we have discussed about the reflex actions and CNS, PNS, different types of nerves. Okay, and in this video we are going to discuss about what are the different types of cranial nerves and for which organ they are attached towards to and what are their functions. Okay, so let us see what are the cranial nerves. The nerves that arises from the brain are called as a cranial nerves. The word itself indicates the cranium. Cranium in the sense the brain is accommodated inside the skull. Okay, so there are how many pairs of cranial nerves? As we know already, there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. So out of those 12 pairs of cranial nerves, as we know that the brain is divided, partitioned into 3 different regions. Okay, what are those? One is the outermost one is the forebrain. Fore in the sense the frontal part is called as a forebrain, and the middle region is called as a midbrain, and the third one is the hindbrain. Okay, so let us see what kind of nerves are arising from which region of the brain. So let us see here, first and second pairs of nerves are arising from the, arising also we can say, or connected also we can say. So these first and second pairs of nerves, cranial nerves, are attached towards to the forebrain, and next one are the third and fourth pairs of nerves are connected towards to midbrain. Next, fifth pair, sixth pair, seventh and the eighth pairs are connected towards to the pons varoli. Pons in the sense a kind of a basal part of the structure of a brain which is moving towards to the elongation of a spinal cord. The basal part is called as a pons. So from there, from the pons region we can observe the fifth pair, sixth pair, seventh pair and the eighth pair of cranial nerves arises. Last but not the least are the 9, 10, 11 and 12. So last of these 4 pairs are attached towards to the last region of the brain called as a medulla oblongata. Okay, so if you observe this, here you can observe the numbering 1 and 2. Okay, so these 1 and 2 are exactly located in the forebrain. In the forebrain. Okay, and next, what is the next count? Third, fourth are related towards to the midbrain. Third and fourth are related towards to midbrain. Okay, and next one 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so can you observe the Roman numbers clearly? Yes, 5, 6, 7th pair. This is the 5th pair and the 8th pair. That is what given over here. 5, 6, 7 and 8 pairs of nerves are attached towards to the pons. Okay, so what is pons here? The elongated region towards to the spinal cord. Okay, so that region is called as a pons. And next, last 4 pairs, nothing but 9th pair, 10th pair, 11th pair and 12th pair. Okay, so these are connected towards to the medulla oblongata. Okay, so 4th to 8th are related towards to the pons. Forebrain, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. Okay, so these are the 4 partitions which are responsible for arising the different pairs of cranial nerves. So why they are attached only in that particular areas? So within that the different types of nerves are responsible for attached towards to the brain, and brain is analyzing. So our brain is partitioned into different regions. So each and every region of a brain is responsible for multiple functions. So in the forebrain, in the midbrain, in the pons varoli and also in the medulla oblongata, the functions will be completely different. Okay, so these functions are connected towards to the sense organs and regulating the pathways and regulating the metabolical activities and regulating the stimulus receiving and giving the response to a particular stimulus is being regulated by this kind of regions of brain which are attached by so and so particular pairs of cranial nerves. Okay, right, hope you all understood. Let's go for the next concept. Continuation concept is the some of these nerves such as first, second and eighth. So previously we have discussed about their location, where they are arising from. Okay, so in this slide we are going to discuss about what kind of nerves. Okay, so first to 12th pair of nerves are they the sensory nerves, are they the motor nerves, or are they the mixed nerves? Okay, so three different kinds of nerves will be playing a very major role in controlling the metabolical activities in the form of a stimulus and response. Okay, let us see here. Second and eighth are purely which kind of nerves it seems? They are sensory nerves. So in the picture if you observe, so here you can observe four types of nerves. Four in the sense, so majorly three types of nerves will be, this is the mixed nerve. This is the mixed nerve. Okay, so this mixed nerve is responsible for one of the function, and the second nerve is the motor nerve, and the third one is sensory nerve. Okay, so which type of nerve, what is the count of the nerve, and what kind of nerve it is, and what kind of function it plays during the response or stimulus receiving process. Okay, so first, second and eighth are the sensory nerves, 1, 2 and 8. So these three pairs of nerves are considered as a sensory nerves. So these three pairs of nerves which are responsible for receiving the stimulus from the receptors which are attached to the cells of a receptory cells attached to sense organs. And next one are the 3rd, 4th, 6th, 11th and 12th. 3, 4, 6, 11 and 12. Okay, so 5 pairs of nerves are purely motor nerves. Okay, so where are the motor nerves here? The second one is the motor nerve. What are the 5? 3, 4, 6, 11 and 12. Okay, so these pairs of nerves are considered as a motor nerves. Nothing but these are attached towards to the two types of muscles. One is a voluntary muscle and one more is the involuntary muscle. And third type of nerves, what are they? The 5th cranial nerve, 6th cranial nerve, 9th pair of cranial nerve and 10th pair of cranial nerves are, what are those? They are the mixed nerves. 5, 6, 9 and 10. Okay, so this 5, 6, 9 and 10 are the mixed nerves. So in total count, how many are they? Sensory nerves are 3, motor nerves are 5 and mixed nerves are 4. Yes, 4 plus 5, 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. Total 12 pairs of nerves are different types of nerves. They are the sensory nerves, motor nerves and the mixed nerves. Okay, so let us see here how could you able to differentiate. This is a sensory nerve, this is a motor nerve and this particular nerve is the mixed nerve. See in this clearly you can observe. So basically we know that the nerves will have three partitions. One is the dendritic region and in the central one is called as a cell body and the it is elongating towards to the axonic region and that axon is terminating towards to the end called as a axon terminals. Okay, so where we can observe those? In the sensory neuron, the cell body will be in a middle region. The cell body will be in a middle region and surrounding to this on two sides, on either sides. So one side is related towards to the receptors, nothing but the receiving neuron. Okay, so here we can observe the axon which is covered with the myelinated sheath. Axon which is covered with the myelinated sheath. So on the top we can observe the receptor cell. In the middle part, at adjacent part we can observe the cell body and exactly at the terminal region we can observe the axon terminals. So wherever the cell body is in middle, that particular neuron is called as a sensory neuron. Sensory. It must carry the receptors. Okay, so as receptors are nothing but to receive the stimulus, they generate the electrical impulses and they send towards to the central cell called as a cell body, and they are from there the nerve impulses will be generating continuously and sending towards to the next nerve through the axon terminals. Okay, so this is the blind code of the nerve sensory neuron. The cell body plays a very major role, and receptors also we need to keep in the mind. Okay, and what is the second type of nerve? It's a common nerve. Okay, so in our textbooks we will be observing this kind of nerve. At the top we can observe the cell body or a soma along with the multiple branches called as a dendrites, and one elongation is called as a axon along with the fat cells, squam cells which are present inside the myelinated sheath. Okay, so this is responsible for continuous transferring of the impulses from cell body towards to the axon terminal. Okay, so exactly at the tip we can observe the muscle. So this at any cost we can observe. So these synaptic knobs are attached towards to the muscles. Why? Because this is a motor neuron. What is the function of motor neuron? It carries the messages after the analyzation by the brain and carries the impulses towards to the effector organs. Okay, so that is called as a muscle. So in between the muscle and the terminals, knobs we can observe here. The gap in between these two is called as a synaptic knob. The neuron muscle synapse. Neuron and muscle synapse. Neuron will be passing on the impulse and it is moved towards to the effector organ. So the effector organ could able to give the reaction. Okay, the gap in between these two is called as a neuron muscle synapse, right? So exactly the cell body will be in a topmost region. In the apical part the cell body will be, and the elongation part is axon, and at the tip region basal part we can observe the axon terminal which is attached towards to the muscle, is considered as a motor neuron. Okay, and let us see the third type of neuron is the mixed nerve. So near the mixed nerve cell body it is highly branched, but at one particular area it is directed. The dendrites are directed in a multiple branches, and one of the axon we can observe is moving towards to the posterior part, and here we can observe the axon terminals, but you can observe very clearly there are no myelinated sheaths. No myelinated sheaths can be observed along with the nodes of Ranvier in the mixed nerve. So this is one of the blind code. Sensory neurons, receptor cells will be at the top and cell body will be at the middle. Motor neuron, the cell body will be at the top along with the surrounded dendrites, axon and axon terminal attached towards to muscles. And the third type of nerve is called as a mixed nerve. So here near the cell body it is highly branched only in a one direction. The dendrites are highly branched and the axon will not contain any sort of myelinated sheaths. Okay, and next one, it is terminated with the axon terminal. So these are the different types of nerves which are arising from the cranium. Okay, hope you all understood. Let's go for the next concept. Let us see in detail what are the different types of cranial nerves, how they are being segregated and how they are functioned, how they are being attached towards to different organs. What is the first nerve? First nerve is called as a olfactory nerve. First cranial nerve is called as a olfactory nerve. So you might have heard already about the word olfactory receptors which are related to the sense of smell, right? So it is also called as a olfactory nerve. First nerve is a pure sensory nerve. It's a pure sensory nerve. which carries the sensation of smell from the receptor of smell in the nose to the limbic lobe of the cerebrum. So, it is a nerve for smell sensation. Okay, let us see in the picture here. This is the nasal cavity. So, within this nasal cavity, we can observe a nerve called as a olfactory nerve. So, this is the olfactory tube. Where is the olfactory tube? Tube in the sense bulb. Okay, so this is the olfactory tube. So, if you observe this, you can observe some multiple branches. Okay, so these are attached towards to the receptor cells of a nose. Okay, so these are nothing but the olfactory receptors which are attached towards to the olfactory tract, right? So these are arising from where? Arising from the nasal cavity and moving towards to the limbic system. This tube is called as a limbic tube. So this is responsible for controlling the smell, sensation of the smell inside the brain. Okay, that is the olfactory nerve. And what is the second nerve? Is called as a optic nerve. Second nerve is called as a optic nerve. Okay, so optic in the sense related to the eyes, vision. So its name is optic nerve and it's purely sensory nerve. Okay, so it carries the visual sensation from the retina of the eye to brain. Okay, so in the eye we have different parts. Okay, so different types of layer we can observe, different types of parts also we can observe, but these nerves, optic nerves, are attached exactly towards to the inner part called as a retina. So in the retina region only we can observe the light focuses through the pupil into the retina. So in the retina we can observe the type of cells called as a photoreceptor cells. Okay, so here this optic nerves are related towards to the attached towards to the retina. Okay, so where is the retina here? See in the picture. So here we can observe the two eyes. Okay, this is a complete brain and here we can observe the inner partition called as a retina, right? So as we observe something, okay, the left partition of a retina will form the nasal field and the right one will form the temporal field. Okay, nothing but, so as the light will be moving towards to the retina, it again reflects back. Okay, so there we can observe the lateral inversion. As in previous classes you might have learned about the lateral inversion, nothing but the changing the sides of the positions of the lateral inversion of letters. Okay, so L will become left to right. Okay, like that here we can observe the different types of fields. Okay, one is the nasal field and one more is the temporal field. So they will be forming a different types of degrees of light intention. It enters here and again it goes back towards to the path where it is visioning, where we are concentrating on the part in the sense like where we are on an object where we are trying to view. Okay, so this is the optic nerve. Okay, so these optic nerves which plays a very major role in especially for the visioning process. Okay, next. What is the third pair of nerve? Are the oculomotor nerves, right? So this oculomotor nerve is a purely motor nerve itself. Motor, already it's there here. Okay, in the name itself it indicates the oculomotor nerve. It contains somatic and autonomic type of nerve fibers. Somatic and autonomic, nothing but the muscles, skeletal muscles and the involuntary muscle fibers which are attached towards to the muscle fibers, not nerve fibers, are attached towards to the muscular organs. So the somatic fiber innervate which is arising some external ocular muscles and thereby controlling the movement of the eyeball. How could we able to move the eyeball itself? Okay, so that is controlled by the nerve called as a oculomotor nerve. So these nerves are present with the types of nerve fibers called as a somatic nerve fibers and the autonomic nerve fibers. Okay, so let us see where is the oculomotor nerve. This is the oculomotor nerve. It's partitioned towards to the different types of eye muscles. Those are the voluntary muscles. Okay, how you can say these are the voluntary muscles? Whenever we require, then only we could able to see a side. Okay, so itself the eye could not able to rotate. Yes, so under our willpower the eyes will be rotating. So those kind of regulation is under the control of a oculomotor nerve. Okay, next, what is the next pair of nerves? Third, cranial nerves. Continuation of the oculomotor nerve. The autonomic fibers. Autonomic fibers in the sense the involuntary muscles. Okay, so for these muscles, what kind of nerves are attached? The third pair of oculomotor nerves are attached. So the nerve fibers of this nerve belongs to the parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is nothing but contraction and relaxation of the involuntary muscles. So they innervate the smooth muscles which are present within the eyeball, namely the ciliary muscles. Okay, the ciliary muscles for increasing the curvature of the lens. Okay, so it makes, well, for example, if you go in a darkest place, right, so we sometimes enlarge our eyes. Okay, the ciliary muscles which are responsible for enlarging the ciliary muscles. So these muscles are under the control of a autonomic nerves of oculomotor nerve, so that we could able to view it very clearly in the dark also during the presence of a type of photoreceptor called as a rods. Okay, increasing the curvature of lens during the near vision, and the circular muscles of iris of constriction of the pupil. Constriction of the pupil, constriction and dilation. Okay, so this kind of movement is under the control of a third pair of, let us see here in the picture, we can observe the cranial nerve, oculomotor. So this is responsible for attached towards to the ciliary ganglion. What is ciliary ganglion? The ciliary muscles which are attached towards to the ciliary nerves. Yes, and these are controlling the movement of the iris. Yes, these are controlling the movement of the iris, and it makes the constriction and dilation, so that the movement of the light will be intensified. How much amount of intensified light must be entered into this whenever we are making the object to view in a nearby position. Okay, so these muscles are completely motor, these nerves are completely motor nerves. Yes, and next one is the fourth pair of cranial nerves called as a trochlear nerves. This is also related towards to the eyes. So it is a trochlear nerve and purely the motor nerve which innervates, which is deeply seated into the external ocular muscles and controls the movement of the eyes. Okay, the trochlear, and also in the previous one also we have discussed one of the nerve. What is the nerve which controls the eye movement? Movement of the eyeball is the oculomotor nerve. Okay, so this is also responsible. Fourth cranial nerve is also responsible for movement of the eyeball, which is attached towards to the muscles of a eyeball. Okay, so let us see here the trochlear nerve. Right, so this is a trochlear nerve which is arising from the pons. That is what we have discussed. The location of the fourth cranial nerve is from the pons. Okay, so this is the trochlear nerve which is attached towards to the ciliary not the muscles of the eye. Okay, so here the trochlea, movement of the muscles which makes the eye movement very flexibly. Okay, next, what is the next cranial nerve? Is the trigeminal nerve. Okay, so it is a trigeminal nerve which is mixed nerve. What is a trigeminal nerve? It's also called as a mixed nerve, and it's a sensory fibers. The sensory fibers of the nerves which are carrying the sensation of multiple organs, nothing but the touch. Means it is related towards the skin, and also pressure on the skin, temperature in the body, and pain of a skin, and also controls the movement of mouth cavity, nothing but the oral cavity, nasal cavity, and also movement of cornea, iris of eye, and skin of face towards to the brain. So these are the multiple actions which are controlled by the trigeminal nerve. What is the trigeminal nerve number? Is the fifth pair of cranial nerve. Okay. So this is mixed nerve, nothing but, so they are controlling multiple actions of the sensory nerves and also sense organs and giving the reaction. So is this the mixed nerve or motor nerve or the sensory nerve? Yes, this is the mixed, purely mixed nerve, and also it is responsible for touch, pressure, temperature of the body, pain on the skin, and also regulating the movement of mouth cavity, regulating the nasal cavity, and also regulating the cornea and iris of the eye and skin of the face. Facial muscles which are responsible for giving the movement with the help of a trigeminal nerve. Okay, so let us see here where is the arisement of the trigeminal nerve. So this is the trigeminal nerve which is also arising from the brain part. Okay, next. So let us see here this root, this is a root, and this is ganglionic region, Gasserian ganglion, which is partitioned into, ready for partitioning into different types of nerves. Okay, see how the branches are arising from. Yes, so first branch, second V2 branch, and this is the third branch towards to the jaws. Yes, so these are the different types of nerves which controls the body temperature, skin, pressure, and also the touch, just touch, normal touch, pressure, temperature, and also the pain. Okay, and the other one are the mouth cavity related towards to the lower jaw, how to move and all, and the nasal cavity, how to just give the movements inside the nose. What do they move? The sneezing process. Okay, and next one is the cornea of the eye and iris of the eye, also under the control of a trigeminal nerve, and the facial muscles, the facial expressions are also under the control of a trigeminal nerve. Okay, so in the lower jaw it also helps in masticatory muscles and help in chewing process, as these are attached towards to the lower jaw. Okay, so we could able to move only the lower jaw, not the upper jaw. Okay, so this trigeminal nerve is branched highly towards to the lower jaw, to this making the mouth to move, masticate easily while chewing process. Okay, next, what is the next type of nerve? Sixth cranial nerve is the abducens nerve. Abducens nerve. Okay, so it is a motor nerve, means nothing but it is attached towards to the effector organs, supplying some external ocular muscles and also responsible for controlling the eye movements. How many pairs of nerves are attached towards to eyes, you see? Okay, next, see in the picture here, this is the abducens nerve. Where is the abducens nerve? This is the abducens nerve. Okay, so this abducens nerve is responsible for, this is the root of the eye muscles. Yes, so this partition is the root of the eye muscles. So this eye muscles, abducens nerve, which makes the complete muscles to just to move, how to move, when to move, in what condition they need to give the, even when we go for continuously pressing our eye, and we may not get any damage. Okay, so if any heavy pressure occurs on our eye, then the controlling of the abducens nerve may be out of, it may become out of control. Okay, so this abducens nerve which plays a very major role in major movement of the muscles, voluntary muscles which are attached towards to the eyeball. Okay, movement of the eyeball is also under the control of a abducens nerve. Yes, hope you all enjoyed this video dears. So let's meet in the next session. So there are another types of nerves also, we'll meet very soon. Okay, thank you.